What up, movie lovers? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies, and this is our movie news podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and I'm joined again by Gio Ramos and Jake Berlin. Gio, how's it going, man?
Good. A little tired, but good. Doing good.
Nice. Jake Berlin, how are you doing today, man?
Good.
So with everything going on with Batman v Superman and all the negative reviews and some good reviews, there's still some other topics to talk about. We might talk about Batman and Superman a little bit on this podcast, but we still got some other interesting things to talk about as well. Gio, what do we got first?
Well, that's actually the first topic, sort of. The DC universe is moving forward. So Ben Affleck has reportedly written a script for the Batman Standalone film. No details on it have been given, but he, as of right now, is confirmed to appear in Justice League 1 and 2, but nothing else beyond that. So the fact that there's a script that he's written, does this tell you guys that there's going to be a Batman standalone movie? And what would you possibly want to see in that movie?
Well, I think, even though they never officially announced it, I think we all assumed that there's going to be a Batman standalone film. And especially, even with all the mixed reviews of Batman v Superman, one thing that everyone's saying is that they loved Ben Affleck as Batman for the most part. So I think that's pretty much a given. I'm super glad that he wrote it. And if, I don't necessarily think so, but, a lot of people are blaming Zack Snyder for how, bad people are saying Batman v Superman is. But, he definitely deserves, most of the blame for the negative aspects of the film. But, a lot of people are forgetting that. And a lot of people are taking Batman v Superman as a negative towards the whole DC universe. A lot of people are forgetting that he's not directing every movie in the DC universe. We're going to see a James Wan Aquaman, which I'm really excited for. We're going to see a bunch of different directors take on these movies. And if Ben Affleck is directing and writing a solo Batman film, I'm freaking all in. Look at his track record so far of writing and directing. And I'm pretty much, we knew he was going to be in Justice League 1 and 2. Obviously, he's Batman. He's one of the leaders of the Justice League. So no surprise on either end.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that the day they brought him on as Batman, it was a lock for him to do a solo Batman movie. I just think that that he's the perfect fit. I would actually, it's not going to happen, but I think he's the best fit to do Justice League as well. But obviously that's not going to happen. I think that, it's cool they wrote a script and everything, but it's not going to happen for a while because unless Warner Brothers changes the whole concept of the DCEU, we won't be seeing a Batman solo movie for a number of years. And I read something online the other day that Affleck was only actually signed on for BVS in both Justice League movies, not actually a solo Batman movie. So that's interesting. It doesn't even look like they have a Batman solo movie in mind right now. I'm sure that he had a script for years because we know that he's a huge Batman fanatic. I'm sure he just wrote one on the side somewhere. And as for what I would want to see, the only story I'm interested in right now for a Batman solo movie is a live-action adaptation of Red Hood. I think that movie would be unbelievable, especially with an older Bruce Wayne, because Jason Todd would be gone for a very, very long time, and then to have him come back in his life would be traumatizing for the character on top of already what is there. It's one of my favorite DC animated movies.
Is Dick Grayson involved in that storyline at all?
I don't think so. He may have showed up a little bit.
Isn't he doing his own thing as Nightwing?
He's in his own city operating as Nightwing.
Yeah.
And that could still be the case, and who knows, they might bring in Nightwing as kind of a partner to him. So. But I think that the whole Batman Red Hood thing would be amazing, especially because it is an older Batman. He's been operating for 20 plus years. It kind of fits. I don't want to see the same old taking on villains for the first time, all that kind of stuff. I want to see something new. But again, we just don't know when it's going to happen. It could be years and years away, or it could, they could announce it to come right after Justice League. Who knows? But after Batman v Superman, I think you need to jump on the Batman train because I think it's universal everywhere. He is the best part of the movie. So, yeah.
So Suicide Squad releases later this summer, and how that movie ends could possibly hint at where the standalone movie could go. For me, it's an obvious given that Joker and Harley Quinn will appear in the standalone movie if there's a standalone movie, because I mean,
It's
it's
the Joker.
you don't waste those two characters or those actors. But do you guys think the solo movie will take place after Suicide
Yes.
Squad? Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see a prequel of any sorts regarding Batman, at least. I hope not, because, I mean, Ben Affleck is older, and he fits the age of an older Batman. So I just want to see Batman's story move forward. I don't mind origin stories for The Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, because we haven't seen those yet, and Cyborg. But for Batman, I want the narrative to move forward for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Just because we've seen it before. I want to see what a Batman Joker relationship is after 15 years of dealing
fighting
with each other,
yeah.
or Batman having lost a Robin or a Barbara Gordon or whatever it is, and it's more interesting right now. And I think they set it up well in Batman v Superman. It's one of the more interesting things. It's just that a prequel to BVS, or seeing how he takes down Killer Croc for the first time or whatever, it's just not as tantalizing as a older Batman seeing Joker again for the first time in 10 plus years or whatever it is.
I just want a flashback where Batman punches all the Joker's teeth out and he gets that grill. That'd be pretty
Sure, I don't mind flashbacks that serve what's going on in present day. I'm cool with that, but I don't want to see like a full-fledged
Well,
origin
I mean,
or
they
anything.
have 20 years of Gotham to flashback.
Yeah, exactly.
On, so
I actually
there's a
think we're
lot
going to
there.
learn a little bit more about Batman and Suicide Squad. I think we're going to see, like I've said this before, like, a montage of him locking up some of those villains.
And don't forget J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. He'll be
Oh
there.
yeah, that'll be great.
All right, well, let's move on to Marvel. The Russo brothers have come out and talked about Civil War possibly being Marvel's darkest film. They say tonally it's unlike any Marvel movie we've ever seen before. It has more edge. It's on an emotional level. Darker things happen in this movie than people have experienced in other Marvel films. They call it a psychological thriller. You'll get to laugh, you'll get to cry, be scared, be happy. That's better than just crying. So there'll be much more intensity, psychological realism. How's this sounding to you guys, considering the storyline that's also being adapted?
I think it's exactly where it's supposed to go. I think it's what we've always expected it to be. This is kind of where the Marvel Universe has been headed. It makes complete sense. It's what I want to see. Psychological thriller, I'm completely in, because the Russo brothers did a great job with a spy thriller with The Winter Soldier. And, I think other than Joss Whedon in the first Avengers, I think that the Russo brothers are Marvel's best grab as far as directors go. I think they're brilliant behind the camera, especially coming from a comedy background. They bring something different to it. So yeah, I think I love that they're saying it's darker. I think it's where it needs to go. It's going to make for one hell of a ride, that's for sure. And seeing a dark version of Iron Man versus Captain America just sounds very, very exciting. So
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with the darker tone thing. I just hope they don't go too dark, because these Marvel movies, they've been mostly lighthearted. Even something like Winter Soldier, they're even though it's probably one of the darker Marvel films, it still has, there's a continuous thread of tone throughout all of the Marvel movies, and I hope they stay consistent with that, because I've loved most of their movies. But yeah, as far as it being a psychological thriller, I'm excited to hear that, because psychological thrillers are one of my favorite genres of film. However, I don't see how it's going to be applied to Civil War, because it looks like there's a lot of action going on. So where does the psychological part play into the movie? I'm really curious. So they're saying that, and it excites me, but I don't think it's going to be a true psychological thriller. I hope so. Hopefully they can nail it, but I'm more curious about the psychological thriller part than the dark part, for sure.
Well, I think the psychological side of it is maybe not as far as the movie goes, but maybe as far like the audience wise, because it is going to mess with us. And
Yeah, for sure.
Making us choose sides and really think about it. And so maybe that's what they mean towards
Okay,
it. But
I
I
get
totally
that.
get your argument. So
Well, because they say psychological thriller, I don't think it's going to be a true psychological thriller,
yeah.
Well, this just continues Marvel's, approach to making these movies subgenres.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man,
yeah.
Winter Soldier.
Right. So, I mean, for me, it's just this is good news. One of my early problems about Civil War was the fact that it wouldn't be as convincing as far as the stakes go and the conflict. But everything I've seen since that last trailer just kind of blows me away. So
That's awesome.
I'm no longer worried about it. This film is going to be in great hands, and I mean, we're all excited about it. So let's move on to from DC to Marvel to Fox now. Gambit movie is reportedly delayed once again. The movie will be pushed to the end of the year to begin production. Apparently, they're going to focus more on the script. Channing Tatum and Léa Seydoux are both still attached, as is Doug Liman right now. So, I don't know. Will this movie ever happen, guys? Should it happen?
I think it's going to happen. I just think they're rethinking it, restructuring it, going to bring down that budget significantly. And I just hope that it doesn't create bad blood between Channing Tatum and Fox and, their Marvel properties, because, I believe Channing Tatum's passion behind this project and the character. And for, that's not the only reason, but mostly for that reason, I really want him to play this character. And I hope he understands why they're making these changes and pushing it back and probably lowering the budget, and accepts it and still gives it his all when he does the movie. So, yeah, I think we will see the movie. I want to see the movie. Just take your time, do it right, learn from Deadpool as far as, applying a budget to, how well you think the film could do. And I think it'll be in good hands. Doug Liman is a great choice to direct this. So it's all looking good to me. Just hopefully they can get it done and out by next year. I think that October release date is Gambit for next year.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Why is it that the movies that I'm always looking forward to have the most troubling productions? Like Fantastic Four. I was excited about the cast and the director, and then all these pre-production problems. World War Z pre-production problems. Thank God that turned out all right. And now Gambit. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I like that Channing Tatum, is so passionate about this character. Now a lot of people are like, no, I don't want him to be Gambit. He's too pretty. I mean, whatever. But I mean, we all agree that he's improved as an actor in the last 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
You look at him in Step Up and him now. It's like, wow, what a difference! Like, we didn't think that was possible. Hopefully, we think the same for Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she'll do fine. But as long as Doug Liman's still attached, I mean, I think this project will be good to go. Now, if Doug Liman drops out,
then I'm worried. I don't think if that haven't they already had a director and then he dropped out?
It was
Rupert Wyatt, who did Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
If that happens again, then I'm gonna start thinking that we're not gonna see this movie.
Right.
But as long as they're moving forward with it, they got this team together: Channing Tatum, Doug Liman. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the second time this has happened. Mm-hmm. Doug Liman and Channing Tatum, I think they can be a great team. The character of Gambit is really, really cool as far as his powers and personality and where he's from. But I won't believe this movie is happening until I see actual set photos or official production or whatever it is. Just because it keeps getting pushed back and it doesn't look like it's a high priority for Fox right now. I want to see Channing Tatum take on the character. I think he's a great fit for it. But it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. And until I see a production, first day of production or set photos or whatever it is, then it doesn't matter to me right now, to be honest. So
how about a Gambit cameo in X-Men Apocalypse?
All for it. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, I think they should go for a route and maybe even put him in freaking Deadpool 2, and have a team up with him. And
that'd be awesome.
I think that'd be a great way to go with that, instead of giving him his own movie, then give him his own movie, kind of introduce him to the public. But it looks like they're going to go the cable route. But I think bringing him into the X-Men universe first and then giving him his own movie will open the gateway. Because right now,
that way fans will, see him as Gambit and accept him as Gambit if it's good.
Yeah, and it's unlike Ant-Man, where there was no post-credit scene or whatever. They just put his movie out there. Marvel's a proven brand, and right now Fox with Fantastic Four and The Bomb, fans aren't going to gravitate towards a new character unless it's someone like Deadpool where it's just outrageously awesome. Gambit's not like that. So I think like Gio said, bring him into X-Men Apocalypse or something like that before they give him his own movie is the right way to go. But as far as the movie goes, I just don't think it's going to happen until it actually happens.
Right. All right, well, let's move away from comic book movies for just a second, and talk about something we're all pretty excited about. So Alex Garland made his directorial debut last year with Ex Machina. Since then, many have kept a close eye on his next project, which has finally been revealed. Garland will be teaming up with Oscar Isaac once again for a sci-fi thriller titled Annihilation. The movie is an adaptation of the same novel from sci-fi author Jeff Vandermeer. So the story for Annihilation focuses on a biologist who, in a bid to discover the truth behind the disappearance of her husband, volunteers for a mysterious journey into an area sealed off as an environmental disaster. Alone in the wilderness, this biologist soon discovers that something dark and inexplicable there is with her. So the film will also star Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson from Creed, and Gina Rodriguez from
Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin.
And she's also in Peter Berg's Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah, but she's so hot. Everyone's trying to cast her and stuff right now, so she's like on the rise.
Okay, so what do you guys think about this?
No
My
worries.
apologies.
Technical difficulty.
Somebody's phone went off.
No, it's stupid websites having videos start when you click on them.
All right, so what do you guys think of Annihilation and the cast and director and the idea?
Sounds incredible. Ex Machina was, probably my second or third favorite movie last year, and it could have been easily number one if Star Wars didn't come out last year. It's a freaking masterpiece. It's close. It's close to a 10 out of 10 as you can get. I mean, I think I gave it a 9.5, but I could easily move that up to a 10. But yeah, I'm so excited to see what Alex Garland does. Every time Jake and I talk about potential directors for properties we love, we always bring up Alex Garland. Oscar Isaac is great. I'm curious, this is great news for us because we're fans of Ex Machina, we're fans of Oscar Isaac, but I don't think he's going to have that big of a role because you kind of already have your lead in Natalie Portman. So I hope he has a significant role, but, we'll find out later down the line. But I'm just super excited about this. It comes out next year, right?
Yeah. Next year?
I mean,
so.
as of now on IMDb it says 2017, but who knows? They can push it back to 2018. I'd have to look through the list, but it'll definitely be one of the movies I'm more looking forward to next year.
I think a film like this is going to take long to film anyway. Something like this, I don't think it'll be a huge, big budget where it's.
I mean, it sounds like a sci-fi, man.
But so is Ex Machina.
Did you read the little thing on IMDb? Yeah. Because it says like something in a dimension where the laws of reality don't apply or something. So
I mean, like Jacob said, I'm over the moon excited for this. Ex Machina. Star Wars: Force Awakens was my favorite movie last year, but Ex Machina was the best film of last year.
Yeah, I agree.
And every time I watch it, I'm just fascinated by it. It's just incredible, and that's all due to Alex Garland directing and writing. I've heard about this movie before, and I was like, oh, Natalie Portman, cool. She's been trying to back this project for a while, but now you bring on someone like Garland and Oscar Isaac, I'm so in. I was just
great cast, by the way.
It's
Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez.
I think that for 2017, it's way too early to tell, but this is skyrocketed into my top 10 most anticipated for next year already. I'm all about the sci-fi, this kind of movie, especially with Garland involved. It sounds great. Like you said, the cast is amazing. So yeah, this is definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because there's like so many comic movies coming out. I mean, we thought there was a lot coming out this year. There's gonna be more coming out next year. But that's beside the point. I'm very much excited for this. You brought up an interesting point, Jacob. We don't know how big Oscar Isaac's role is gonna be in this movie. I mean, it could be something very small, like maybe. Well, I don't know. Alicia Vikander kind of had the same role as Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, they all three had pretty big roles, but who knows? He could play Natalie Portman's husband. We don't know.
Right. I mean, just give him a dance scene and. Right. I mean,
I'm cool with just a small role just because they're friends. Probably like, hey, you want to play this role? Maybe it's a small but important role.
Yeah, And how about sci-fi movies for the next couple of years, guys? You have Luc Besson's Valerian. You have this. You have David Ayer's sci-fi thriller with Will Smith, Bright. You know, and Star Wars and Star Trek.
We kind of talked about when Ex Machina was kind of around, but sci-fi took a bit of a dive for a while, real hardcore sci-fi. And ever since Ex Machina, it seems like it's starting to ramp back up. We see that with genres all the time. Mm-hmm. They die and they come back. They die and they come back. And it looks like the real hard sci-fi is starting to come back. And that's awesome because it's my favorite genre. So I'm very excited for all these movies to come out.
All right, guys, let's do some rapid fire. Let's run through these, especially this first topic, since we just realized it was shot down. But let's still talk about the possibilities. So, Fox, there was a sort of a rumor, I guess, that X-Men: New Mutants will have a young adult vibe to it. Actually, that's not even a rumor. Simon Kinberg came out and said it himself that X-Men: New Mutants will have a young adult vibe to it, and that it will kind of be its own movie. But a little more attached to the X-Men universe than Deadpool was. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Is young adult genre the right vibe for New Mutants?
What do they mean? Do they mean young adult, Hunger Games and Divergent?
Yeah,
and stuff
Hunger Games, Maze Runner, that kind of stuff.
The stuff you would find in young adult.
Yeah, or
like a love triangle and all that
Is
stuff.
young adult... Is that would you consider Fault in Our Stars a young adult film? It doesn't have to be action oriented, right?
That's a YA, yeah.
So it's funny because if you think about aspects of the original X-Men trilogy, there are aspects of young adult in those movies. Think about the stuff going on with Rogue and she had a little love triangle going. Oh no, well with her boyfriend Iceman was hitting on Kitty Pryde. There's young adult aspects in those movies with the younger X-Men. So it's kind of weird. We kind of seen that in the X-Men universe, before. But I'm cool with it. Just, I don't want it to be cheesy. I don't think it will. I trust Fox with the X-Men property. So I'm really looking forward to it, whatever they're going to do with it. I don't mind it, but I don't know if I like young adult vibe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, we're all in for X-Men movies at this point, and we were talking about the cast beforehand, and or the possibilities of it anyway. And as far as a YA feel, if it's like the Hunger Games, or I'll say the first two Hunger Games, I'm in. I mean, that's cool. It's something different, but I just don't want it to be too cheesy and step away from what they're doing. I'd rather them just kind of stay the course and give it just a younger cast and kind of maybe that's what they mean. Maybe the young cast is going to give it a YA
just
feel.
The fact that you have young characters, it's going to naturally feel young.
Yeah, so I hope they keep the same thing they're doing with all these X-Men movies, just with a young cast. So.
Okay, well, Jennifer Lawrence says she's dying to be in more X-Men movies. She loves these movies. She loves being in them. She loves the ensemble because it's not on anyone's shoulders. What do you guys think about this?
I love it. I want Jennifer Lawrence, Fassbender, and McCovey to stay on the X-Men properties. I want to see that they were there from X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, and both those movies are great. So and I don't mind Jennifer Lawrence being in this franchise, especially because even though they put her as one of the main characters, she's not carrying it by herself. And yeah, it worked for the last couple movies. I think it's going to work for Apocaflix. So yeah, definitely I'm in.
Sold. We had speculated about when that last trailer came out. We talked about, is she the right-hand woman to Professor X? By the way, the trailer kind of gave off, and I think it's awesome that she wants to stay on. Now that the Hunger Games is over, she's like, I need a big property to stay with. So maybe she's in it for the cash. I don't know, but it's all a new timeline. So maybe Mystique becomes a huge character going forward. Maybe she's the team lead, just like Storm was in the original trilogy. It'd be very cool to see, and depending on how Apocaflix goes, her character could be a big focal point going forward. So,
character be killed off? What? She getting choked pretty bad. I'd rather see her join the DC universe as Catwoman. That'd be awesome. But anyways, let's move on. Tom Hiddleston says he could make one more appearance in Thor Ragnarok. It could be his last one. But then when he was asked possible appearance in Infinity War, he said he doesn't know. So
this will not be his last turn as Loki. He is one of the best comic book characters we've ever seen, period, in my opinion. So, and I think he loves playing the character. I think Marvel loves him. The audiences love him. Maybe it's the last film he's contractually obligated to be in, but they'll make it work. They'll get him back. I hope so.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Marvel's just not telling what's going to happen because they want to keep everything quiet on Infinity War. But I think that he's going to be standing right next to Thanos when everything goes down.
I hope so.
Which would be epic. Like you said, I think he's one of the greatest comic book characters in movies, especially villain-wise. And he definitely loves playing the character. I think, him coming out as Loki in Comic-Con was a perfect example of that, just playing with the crowd. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I mean, maybe he's just saying this because maybe he's in contracts to play a little James Bond.
Come on, give Idris Elba a chance. But, yeah, it makes sense that this won't be his last one. I mean, you can't go a movie from where they faked his death in Thor, The Dark World, to him dying in the next one. I just don't think audiences are going to... That's too soon. You got to...
And I still wouldn't believe it if he died.
Right.
I'd be like, nope, he's still alive.
And
well, he died at the end. He died at the end of Thor too.
That's right. Yeah, man.
And if you can't see us, but I put my quotation hands up.
God. Yeah.
When I
All
said
right. So a little bit of sad news, but I mean, not really. I mean, because Hans Zimmer retires from superhero movies. We all know he's great. Okay, he's a great composer, even before superhero movies. But I want to know what's your guys' favorite superhero / villain score from him.
He's done so many, but I have to go with The Dark Knight. Every time I watch that movie, I get freaking chills when the score comes on, especially when I think when the Batmobile, gets destroyed and it turns into a motorcycle, like the score's playing. It's so amazing. So,
or even that score where like the bass goes. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. For me, it's tough because the Dark Knight was a part of each of our, it was a phenomenon.
Oh, definitely.
We loved it. But for me, it's Man of Steel. Like I can't get over what he did. That
Man of Steel's good too.
Like I always think about that shot, and you guys remember this from the trailer when Jor-El, Russell Crowe is looking over Krypton, and it's all explosion, and the music in the back goes. It's like it's
he's
all
great.
amazing.
And I just want to say he did an incredible job with Dawn of Justice. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't argue with somebody if they said the score is the best part of the movie. It probably is, honestly.
Like another movie you just saw recently. But what do you think, man?
I also go Man of Steel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually I have Interstellar of his in my car. I have a few from Inception, and I actually took off the Dark Knight trilogy and I put on Man of Steel on my iPod and it plays in my car. The song you're speaking of is called Flight.
Yes.
And it plays when Superman first puts on the suit. And it's remarkable.
Oh, when he has his fist on the ground and the rock starts spinning.
I get the chills every time.
That's great.
I get the chills every time I hear, because the music gets you so involved. Mm-hmm. And when he's flying over the ocean and everything, it's magical. But The Dark Knight, man, there's some great stuff in there. There's some great stuff in Dawn of Justice as well. We speak of the Wonder Woman stuff and everything. But for me, it's definitely the Man of Steel.
All right, well, last topic. Let's recap our Showdown Sunday. Every Sunday, I write this little fun article for everyone to participate in. It's a Showdown Sunday where we pit two movie forces against each other. It can be characters, actors, directors, or movies. So for this week, I thought it was fitting since most of you have seen Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And I wanted to pit Doomsday from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice against someone his own size. So I chose the Hulk from Avengers. That Avengers Hulk, the one that punched what was that thing called?
Leviathan.
The Leviathan, and that thing, crashed and burned. So considering each of those characters from those movies, not comics, those movies.
So Doomsday from Batman v Superman.
Batman v Superman versus Hulk from Avengers. Who wins in a fight?
I go Hulk, and I know Doomsday's a little bigger than him, probably quite a bit bigger than him, but you got to remember Hulk's almost pretty much indestructible, and Doomsday's not, and it would be a great fight, that's for sure, but I just think that the Hulk is a little bit smarter. He could take a little bit more. And all that gamma just kind of bundles up, and then he just gets after it. So my pick's Hulk.
Yeah, it's tough because Doomsday's pretty damn powerful. He got nuked and just got stronger. But, I usually don't put personal feelings into this, but although I love the fight between Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman and Doomsday, I kind of hated the Doomsday they portrayed in that movie. So I want to see the Hulk whoop his ass. So I'm going to go with Hulk. And that's a great point. Hulk, what can kill the Hulk? You can't think of anything. Kryptonite can kill Doomsday. So all the Hulk would have to do is go find some kryptonite and use it to kill Doomsday. Boom. So Hulk.
Yeah, I gotta go Hulk too. I mean, I just
Clean sweep.
The more he gets, the more damage he gets, the more angry he gets.
Yeah, and then he gets stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think he'll pound on Doomsday, but it'll be a good fight.
I want to see that now. All right, well, that's going to wrap up Apocaflix movie news this week. I want to thank Gio Ramos for gathering the movie notes and semi-hosting today. Gio, where can they find you online?
Twitter at GioRamos24 and ApocaflixMovies.com. Check out Rumors Central, podcast going up next week.
And I want to also thank Jake Berlin for joining us today. We just did our Star Wars Rebels Season 2 finale review and Season 2 review. So, Jake, let them know where they can find you online.
Yeah, check out the Season 2 review and kind of a preview to Season 3 a little bit, speculation-wise. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at QuigonJake, ApocaflixMovies.com every day. And check out our All Star Wars podcast, the Padawan Podcast.
And you can find me on Twitter at @JacobBarley_ on this Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. We truly appreciate it. Until next time, you all take care.